Imagine walking through London, past Harrods, through Mayfair, into Chelsea, and then down to Canary Wharf. Now imagine this. Most of what you just saw is quietly owned by a single man, not a British aristocrat, not a hedge fund titan, not even a monarch of the United Kingdom. We're talking about a Gulf royal, a prince with a portfolio so vast, so diversified, so secretive, that even most Londoners have no idea how much of their city he controls. This isn't a rumor. This is real estate dominance at a sovereign level. Today on Desert Billionaires, we reveal the untold story of how one Gulf royal turned London into his personal financial playground through property, power, and precision. Let's begin. His name is Sheikh Hamad bin Jassim bin Jaber Al Thani, or HBJ, as he's known among power circles. Former Prime Minister of Qatar, former foreign minister, and longtime architect of Qatar's global investment strategy. But titles don't define him. Power does, and wealth. And HBJ's fortune is estimated north of $10 billion, personally, while managing influence over hundreds of billions through Qatari sovereign funds. And nowhere is that influence more visible than in London. Let's start with the crown jewel, Harrods. In 2010, Qatar Holdings, the sovereign wealth arm closely tied to HBJ, bought Harrods for £1.5 billion. But it wasn't just a luxury store. It was a symbol, a message that Qatar had arrived. And that message was signed with gold. Harrods attracts 15 million visitors a year. But the real gold mine is in the real estate it sits on, prime Knightsbridge land, where every square meter is a fortune. Then came the Shard, London's tallest building. Towering 310 meters into the sky, it's a monument of glass, steel, and sovereign ambition. Qatar invested in the project when no one else would, during the financial crisis. Today, they own 95% of it. It houses billion-dollar companies, top-tier restaurants, and luxury hotels, all feeding rent back into Qatari pockets. And they didn't stop there. Qatar owns Canary Wharf Group, the masterminds behind London's financial district. They own 20% of Heathrow Airport and had plans to acquire even more. From the Savoy Hotel to Claridge's, Chelsea Barracks to the Olympic Village, Qatar's investments, often funneled through HBJ's era of leadership, are not just acquisitions. They are geopolitical chess moves. But why London? Because for Gulf royals, London is more than a city. It's a safe haven for capital A, prestige trophy on the world stage, a Western base of influence, and HBJ knew this before anyone else. Back in the 2000s, he saw what others didn't: the decline of oil as a long-term hedge, the rise of Western real estate as a safe asset, and the power of soft influence through luxury, hospitality, and land. While other royals were buying yachts, HBJ was buying buildings. While others were gifting cars, he was gifting investment arms. Qatar now owns more real estate in London than the British royal family. Read that again. And HBJ, he didn't just push the deals. He structured them, engineered the financing, and negotiated directly with British governments. At one point, he reportedly met with 6 different UK prime ministers, from Blair to Cameron, to quietly shape the nature of these deals. He even helped bail out Barclays Bank during the 2008 crisis, pouring in over £3 billion, which saved the bank and avoided a British government bailout. In return, massive shares, preferred treatment, and a foot inside the vault of the UK financial system. HBJ is no longer in public office, but he remains one of the most connected private financiers in the Middle East. He's a fixture in Davos. He's courted by investment banks, hedge funds, and world leaders. And he still owns personal properties throughout Mayfair, including one of the most expensive mansions in Britain. But it's not just about money. It's about influence without visibility. You won't see HBJ doing interviews. He doesn't flaunt on social media. He doesn't appear at fashion galas. Instead, his wealth sits quietly beneath the city, collecting rents, dividends, and leverage. And his blueprint has been replicated by the Saudi Public Investment Fund, by the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, by Kuwaiti and Omani funds. But HBJ was first. He was the architect of Gulf capital colonizing Western cities, and London was the prototype. So the next time you sip tea at Harrods, book a meeting at Canary Wharf, fly out of Heathrow, or admire the Shard at night, remember this: you're not just standing in London, you're standing on sovereign territory, not British, but Gulf royal. And behind it all is a man you've likely never heard of, but whose shadow covers billions, and whose strategy reshaped a city. This is Desert Billionaires. Hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories of power, wealth, and influence. See you in the next episode.